serious issue that America is facing today is involving illegal immigrational children. As they cross the border, many of them don't make it during the hard journey through the harsh weather temperatures and weather conditions, and also as they get into the United States. For the very few that make it across the border, they end up being sent to certain facilities that are very low quality and end up hurting them more than helping them. And our plan here is to help them have a higher quality stay, so when while they're staying here in their holding area, they're not getting more injured and sicker. Here's a story involving a family where the parents were deported back to Mexico and the kids were kept in the holding facilities that were very low quality and ended up hurting their kids more than helping them.
Nelson Omar Chilel Lopez was born in April of 1997. Family and friends simply call him Omar. He grew up amid the coffee farms of El Porvenir, Guatemala, a poverty-stricken area located about an hour south of the Mexican border. Seasonal work is labor-intensive with little pay, picking coffee beans for about 8 cents a pound. In search of higher-paying work, his mother, Fermina, left her family behind in 2006, crossing illegally into the United States and settling in Phoenix, Arizona. Omar's older brother and older sister soon followed. He was left behind. Crushed by their separation, Omar convinced his mother in 2010 to pay a coyote to lead him and an older family friend through the Arizona desert. Omar was 13 at the time. Should we help them? Should we stop them? Fermina sends $800 to cover the cost of the first part of their journey. On July 6, the coyote calls Fermina. Doña Teresa and Omar are part of a group that will cross into the Arizona desert that night. In a few days, they will arrive in Phoenix. They were crossing the desert at the peak of the summer heat. Should we have helped them? Should we have stopped them? Almost 2 years later, the partial skeletal remains of an older woman and a young boy were found in southern Arizona, and Fermina was finally reunited with her son. Omar's story is representative of a new trend on the border. In 2013, authorities apprehended nearly 14,000 minors, twice as many as in the previous year. Should we stop them? Should we help them?
Once the fleeing immigrant children get to the United States, if they get caught in the holding cells that they're put in, they have very bad conditions.
Wyatt, thank you. This morning, the White House is calling a surge in immigrant children an urgent humanitarian crisis. The Border Patrol in Arizona is holding hundreds of children sent there after crossing illegally into Texas. Vicente Arenas is outside that detention facility in Nogales along the Mexican border. Vicente, good morning.
Good morning. So many of them are coming in on buses. Others are being flown here. And this facility this morning is struggling to figure out what to do with all those children. Meantime, the government is also trying to figure out what to do with so many undocumented kids that have come into this country all at once.
These photos reportedly show the situation inside the Border Patrol facility in Nogales, Arizona. Hundreds of children sleeping in makeshift beds under foil blankets. The images are prompting locals like Paula Andrade and her 2 daughters to take part in a donation drive for the kids.
What are you hoping these things do for those kids?
That people from the outside are thinking about them, like that we care about them.
They're bussed in daily from Texas, where border facilities are seeing more than they can handle. According to the U.S. Border Patrol, the number of children caught entering the U.S. alone has skyrocketed to more than 47,000 in just the first 6 months of this year. That's almost double the amount of children caught all of last year. The White House is calling on multiple government agencies to work together to address the situation,
to make sure that we have adequate resources to deal with this influx of unaccompanied minors that we've seen.
Border officials say most of the children are apprehended in the Rio Grande Valley of Texas. They're primarily from 3 Central American countries, Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador. The issue spreads beyond Arizona. Some children will be moved to military bases in California, Texas, and starting next week to Fort Sill in Lawton, Oklahoma. That state's Governor Mary Fallin calls the situation alarming.
Children that will be staying on a military installation, which is for military purposes, and coming under who knows what type of conditions. They're going to have all kinds of health needs, education needs, certainly language barriers.
The kids are going to stay here while their deportation process begins. Eventually, they will be sent to other centers around the country. The Obama administration is asking for more than $1 billion to try to handle this problem. Charlie?
This is a federal issue because there are illegal immigrants in every single city and every state in the United States right now, and this shouldn't be singled out for one single state, but it should be dealt with on a nationwide basis. And in addition, what we want to see in these laws is improvement of the conditions of the holding places for these children, because here they're just looking for safety and they're coming in and they're dealing with more dangerous conditions than they were with originally.
It is estimated that it will cost $2.28 billion to put the plans into place that will improve the holding places conditions.
Although this project has many positives, it also has some negatives we need to consider. This project costs a lot of money, which could negatively affect our country by spending a lot of money on these children's lives instead of spending it on our own country. And in addition, it has the possibility of bringing in possible crime and breaking laws and having individuals try and break out of these holding places just to live in America for sure, because they're not guaranteed a spot. And lastly, this plan also has the possibility of being a huge success and helping many children come safely to the United States.
The question is around what to do with children born to illegal immigrant parents. My personal opinion is either provide them the opportunity to become